Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our next session. And the topic for today is Inside Sitecore CMP, Building an Intelligent Content Migration and Delivery Framework by Divya Singh, who is Sitecore Technology MVP and Sitecore Developer, along with Santosh Kumar, who is Sitecore Architect and MVP as well. Hoping for a great session. Over to you, Divya.
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Let me start this slide first. Yeah, first of all, a big thank you to the organizers for hosting this event and giving us the opportunity to present this session to the larger community. So, our today's session is based on our practical work. We have done a POC designed to validate whether CMP can truly act as the upstream engine, as the content factory for the downstream system, basically. So before we start, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Devya. I have around 6+ years of experience working with Sitecore application. I'm currently working as a Sitecore dev at EPAM system, and I'm organized. I'm recognized as the Sitecore MVP 2025. I'm active contributor, and I regularly share my learnings on my sites. And if you would like to connect, you can always reach me on LinkedIn. Over to Santosh.
Thanks, Divya. Thanks everyone for joining this session. Thank you, organizer, for giving us this platform, the opportunity to conduct this session. So, hello everyone. I'm Santosh Kumar, a software architect at EPAM System with over 16 years of experience in software design and development, and I'm specialized in Sitecore solutions. In my current role, I actively involved in the RFPs, RFIs, and the pre-sales activities along with the solutioning. My expertise also extend my capability to the cloud-based solutioning, Mac-based architecture design and all. And I'm also part of a part-time technical blogger, and I regularly used to share my insights based on my research and findings through my blogs. And yeah, I'm also certified in all the Sitecore composable stacks, including XM Cloud and Content Hub. And last year, I have been also recognized as Sitecore Technology MVP. This is pretty much about myself. And if you want to reach out, please feel free to reach out to me on the LinkedIn or maybe any other social platform as well. Yeah, so with that, let's start with the agenda. So as this topic covers widely about the CMP capability, so we will start with the short overview of the DAM and the CMP. What is this in the Sitecore Content Hub platform? Then we'll discuss briefly about the problem statement to validate if the CMP is the right platform to use to solve the purpose, the problem statement. And the other thing is why it's now becoming popular choice for moving towards the CMP. So we will talk about one hypothetical use case, and then we'll have a look at the content migration framework design, how it is, and then we'll have how we can create localization content and all. So that part will uh, be discussed by by Divya. So yeah, so this is all about that. At last, we will address your queries if any. So this is what we will be going through for next an hour. Okay, so let's start with the the topic about dam. What exactly dam is? So it's all we know that it's a repository which is used to manage the images, video, document. I mean all kind of stuff, the assets basically, right? So we can provide the metadata. We can do the right management. We can create the asset versioning, right? The tagging and all, right? And this supports the taxonomy and all to create the relations between the assets. So these all are the out of the box capabilities. So for managing the assets in a proper way, right? So basically the brand assets and all. So on top of that, we have the other capability which is CMP, right? So that's content marketing platform. So this is something, right? It's a kind of the central hub for uh, for the governance purpose. We can put the governance over the content. So this is the platform where we can plan, create, and structure the content, right? So we can create the content types, and then the taxonomies, metadata, all what we were used to do with the DAM. The same way it's provide the capability for the CMP as well, with for but this is specific to the content management, right? So basically we can manage the content in a proper organized way using the CMP, right? And just to be specific, CMP is not just about the content or the web pages. It's all about the content reuse anywhere. I mean, so basically, as Divya mentioned at the beginning, right? So this is something for the governance, and also it serves the content to the downstream systems, right? So that's why we say that's the it's at the content reusable capability. We have the similar product, right? If you all recall the content hub one, that was the lightweight, the headless CMS, right? The purpose was same almost, but since this add more values, since it is tightly associated with the DAM platform, so you get the other benefits, the features, the capability out of the box, right? Because you can you can manage your content, you can create, review this, you can structure content and modeling, you can do the governance over the workflow, then you can publish the content to the multi channels and all. And it's very seamlessly integrated with the DAM, so you don't need to take care of those things. It is out of the box, adding that capability to integrate with the DAM things, right? uh yeah, Divya, can please move to next slide, please. Okay, so before talking about the problem statement, one more thing uh, I would like to discuss about why CMP should be the upstream content factory, right? I mean, why we this should be there, right? There are multiple other options as well. So the things, right, it's provide the measure, we can say that's a enterprise level, it actually handles the enterprise level pain points, which are something like it's covered the unifications of the content creation across the teams. So when I say that unifications, it means that you can just set up the unified process over the content creation, right? So this is one of the meaningful things, because maybe the organization can deal with multiple downstream systems, but if they have the governance over their content, right? Because they are the owner of the content. So if there is a kind of unification, branding, the marketing strategy and all, so it will be unified on the at their side, and then downstream system can utilize or consume those as per their need, right? So this is what it's provide out of the box. Then the structure schema, since if it provide the capability to create the content in the unified way, obviously the structure of the content will be also be unified in terms of the schema and the JSON output, right? And of course then it will support the omni channel delivery, like any of the downstream system like web, mobile, classic, or maybe anything, right? Which are the right candidate. And also it's our like workflows is out of the box. It's have the capability to schedule the publishing, and also these are the on top of that. So these are some of the important facts which make this product very valuable for the enterprise of the organization. So they are actually interested to look into it, how they can better utilize this product, right? So, or whether this actually fulfill their needs or not. So that's the problem, that's the the purpose of it. Now let's talk about the problem statement. So basically we did one POC for one of our customer. So they had actually multiple sites, right? Or even micro sites. So they're having less business critical things rather than they have instead lot of content, basically the normal or the general content. So they were wanted to check if this capability, if they can add and manage this in a centralized location. So that's why they came up with this the problem statement. So so that this can be the managed from one place, and by utilizing their they already have having their assets managed inside the dam platform. So so basically all will be centralized together, right? So that was the intent, right, for this POC. So this was the ask. So basically we have to show them that how we can make those things available in this CMP platform, and then it can be shared across the multiple channels, right? So I already covered why CMP was the choice. We will discuss this in detail. How we actually we utilize this framework to uh, uh, to showcase the their actual need. So so we will talk about that in the subsequent slide. So for now, Divya, could you please move to next? Yeah, so this is about the need, like why the organizations move to CMP, the hypothetical enterprise case. So the thing is that the we already spoke about this, the building structure based content, they can create the content types and the taxonomy, and then they can also reuse their existing dam assets. Uh, you can create the those kind of cases or the configurations. I mean, what type of the dam assets should be available to the platform, to be tagged or reused. So this kind of flexibility it's provide out of the box. So basically the dam assets will be available there for you. Then the organization multiple website inside the CMP using the content collections, right? So basically you can also create the content collections as per the if you want to basically have the groupings, right? So it can be supported by the content collection, right? Then uh, you can also create the multilingual content. uh, so it's a feature actually out of the box. We will see in action in a while. So I mean, of course the original will be there, and based on the original you can create the variant languages, right? There are few certain limitations also. Divya will talk about that, what are those. I mean, those are not limitation, but it can be further extended. For now you need to do some activities manually as well. We'll talk about that, then we can deliver those the content, the whatever the content we created through the either through the REST API or the GraphQL, right? So this we all know, right? It it also supports the Sitecore AI, as we know, like this is on top of the Sitecore products, the ecosystems. We have now Sitecore AI capability to you know to go with the result very faster. It guide you well, right, to achieve the results. So we will see how we can utilize the Sitecore AI in terms of the CMP capability as well. And this both together, CMP and DAM, like actually provide you the feature ready headless content system to to make this available to be marketed very quickly, right? So these are the most important no, use cases which actually make the organization very interesting for the CMP product to be utilized. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now this is all about the high level architecture, how we can start with creating uh, the content migration framework in CMP. So uh, so this is some of the steps we covered actually. So everything, right, related to the content, we start with the auditing part, right? We first discover the things, what are the things needs to be in place, like the pages template and the component. We all are very much familiar with this activity, right? So I don't think we need to talk more detail about this thing. So we start with the discovery, right, and the content audit. And based on our findings, the needs basically, and what are the site space or the component, the template, we will go with the further steps, right? Then we'll define those structure in the CMP, right? So for that we have the interface where we can create content types for each of the required page, based on the identified areas like the pages or the templates which are needed, right? And based on those animal, I mean, these are all we all are familiar with this activity we do with these CMS as well, right? So same thing goes here, but it is well structured, and I mean we can do it very quickly while defining the content types and all. So the thing is that we should have the clear idea about that what we have to achieve based on the required output, right? So that's we need to follow the same thing, and we can add the fields, uh, and taxonomy for the tagging and all there, right? So these are the steps we need to follow. Divya, could you please move next? Then we have a DAM asset linking strategy. So as is already mentioned, this provide out of the box capability to utilize the DAM assets inside your CMP, right? So you can just you can select those assets directly inside the CMP, and you can provide those assets link to the fields where you want to utilize it. And also you can maintain the metadata and rights from the dam, because the so basically you are already managing those things inside the dam, so it will be still that will be supported. So basically you don't need to uh, take care of this as an additional responsibility. It is already there, right? So you can manage those rights and metadata things from them, and at the same time it is getting utilized inside the CMP, right? So that's the purpose. Then we have the next step like migration pipeline and the content validation governance. So this is basically where uh, your workflow come into the play, right? So it's a, I mean the other part is same, but the workflow is quite extensible in terms of the CMP capability. So it supports like uh, various stages, right? From draft to approved, and you will see these all in the calendar, right? There is a calendar, or maybe you can more precisely you can set such the scheduler where you can see all those things where your content actually goes, right? And you can plan accordingly. So something called ideation, kind of, so it's there, right? So and yeah, so metadata data and taxonomy, those all are you can uh, set up there, right? And then it's time to expose your content to through the GraphQL and the REST APIs, whatever is your need, as per the channel, the downstream system requirement. You can expose those content through the GraphQL APIs, right? And these are all the out of the box capability. You can build the queries for the component, the variants, and API support. The AI supported authoring, right? So you can use the AI for the translation and all, and also it's prompt you like based on your prompt, the output required, you can get help from the AI, AI tools, right? So it can be utilized to maintain your content across across the channels. So you will get that assistance from the AI support also. Yeah, I think now it's time to hand over to Divya. So Divya could please
Yeah,
go
thank
through.
you. Thank you, Santosh. Okay, so from here we start the main thing in the CMP, how CMP module work within the DAM. So in CMP, content flow is very clean and structured. And once we create any content type and set up our fields, we can create, any content, usually in the original language like English. And then we can add the translated version with using the localize option. So first, let's see how to create the content type. We have to log into our Content Hub instance. There, we'll see on the manage page the content type, and we could see there would be like default types as well, such as blog and email, that are out of the box provided by the Sitecore to help teams to get started quickly. And then we can define our custom. So for this POC, for this session, I have created one. And there are these members. Let's see them in action. So I have attached some screenshots how it's gonna look like. In the manage page we see the content types, right? You go there, and in the content type you see some of the default content types already there, and some of are the custom one. So this is the generic site block I have created for our session. So you see this option add type, right? Once you click there, you see this pop up where you define your content type. Basically, you will give the label and you just save this. Identifier and the prefix will automatically generate. Once you do this, it will ask for the members, right? So there's this option to add your members. So for this generic site block, I have added few of the fields like title, subtitle, description, CTA text, URL, and image text. And you could see there are just 4 options available, right, to create the any content type: single line, multi-line, and rich text. You could read that it's for the formatting, asset embedding, and collaboration features, which are already available out of the box from the DAM. And reference is a very different field within which we can refer to any content that is being already created, right? So all these features that you see here, the title, subtitle, and description, and CTA text and URL, all those are single line. And the image text, image asset field is the one which is used the rich text. So I'll show you the use case later. So yes, this is the work page in the content type where user could see the work that the items that has been created by him in the different life cycle. So here you will see this option, right, to create your own content. So let's say once you click there, yeah, and this is the search page, and this is the search page how this gonna look like. It's a different version of your work page where would you see all the content being created, and using the facets you can use content type facets. So let's say if using the generic site block, to content has been created like this, and the other filters as well. And this is the content collection which Santosh told you about for keeping all our multiple sites content into the folder structure. So here you can create the content collection, and within the content collection you can create your sites content to recognize them easily. So let's say once the user click on the content, right, he has given the name, he has select, let's say, the locale, and the type that I have selected is the custom one which I have created a generic site block with few of the fields. And once I click save, I would be able to see that my item has been created with the fields that has been created on the custom content type. So here you will see this option, right? So here I have just given a random some text on this field which has some grammatical mistake, right? So here when you click, you will see this option which is a star icon. So this is a Sitecore AI feature. Once you click here, so let's say I have selected this, I have clicked on Sitecore AI. It asks few of the options by default, whether you want to fix this spelling and grammar, if you want to make it shorter, or if you want to make it longer, or summarize, or want to change the tone. So let's say I've selected the fix spelling and the grammar. It show me the second option to insert the below. It has given the suggestion, the generated from the selected text. So here I have selected the replace one, and yes, it will automatically remove the previous selection to the one that is generated by the Sitecore AI. And then I clicked on the save. One thing that you will note, on the title of the content you will see this is star icon which shows like this content has been generated from the Sitecore AI. Okay, so let's, here I have fill out all the rest of the fields for this content, test content SUG, and I have saved the changes. Now there is thing, let's say we have to create the variation for that content, right? For this SUG, this is right now in the English version. So let's say I wanted to add a new variation on in the different language. So let's see what are the steps to do so. So once again you have to go to your manage page, and there we have this taxonomy. The user will click on there. There is this taxonomy which comes into play, the m dot localization. You will click here on this taxonomy. You will see for right now in the system there are just two languages, that is English and the Dutch. I will click on the add button and I will try to add my new language. So I have already added this one. This Spanish. You could see now 3 languages are there in the system, right? Now I will go back to my original content, and one thing that you will note in this original content, that it has local English, because this is all a requirement, because if you will try to create a localized version of this original content, it will show you an error. It will ask to at least give this original entity any locale to know which the original entity language. So I will click on the localize button. Another pop-up will come. So this pop-up, I have the screenshot says now 3 items are there. So this is the new one that I have created using the taxonomy, Spanish one. Let's say I have selected this. For the my localized version, I have just given this text test.cg localized, and I have selected my locale. One thing you will note that there is this option available, translate with AI. This is also another feature of Sitecore AI which help us to translate our content easily. So Santosh mentioned on one thing about a limitation, or we could say something that is not covered by the Sitecore AI. Let's say in your content there is some URL, right? So URL will not be able to translate. So it will show some error. Let's say, sorry, we were not able to translate this content sort of message. So right now I don't have that your URL in my field. So it will be able to easily translate all the content into Spanish from the English. Let's say I have clicked here, and you will see all the title, subtitle, description, CTA text and URL, and everything has been translated from English to Spanish. And one thing you will note that the locale is this ES, which is for the Spanish language. And the another thing that you will note, that since we have uses the Sitecore AI to translate this content, it will mark that it's been generated using the Sitecore AI. And the second thing is that this is the variant of some original entity. And let's say I want to know what was its um, original variation. So I can go in the option in the right panel, and I will select the variations below there. It will show me that this variant has this original entity, right? Which shows this original, the content. Now let's move. Okay, so let's say once you have created your content in both in the localized and in the multilingual languages, how you will gonna fetch the content and how you are going to expose the same with the downstream applications. So there are 2 ways basically. One is using the REST API, right? So REST is great, for validating our full entity output. We can quickly hit the API entities ID endpoint, and when we can see the structured JSON, right, with all the fields and all the relation and all the assets that are linked to that content. So here I have given this endpoint that your instance URL, API entities, and the entity ID of your content. And then in the properties, let's say you will see this generic site block title, subtitle, description, and this with other more info. Now I will show you one thing. So this is how it's gonna look like, right? In the REST API. And there is one more thing in the relation. Let's say you want to filter out your content based on the content type. There is this relation content type to content. You have to just access this content relation. Once you go to this relation, you could see the identifier also, m dot content type dot generic site block. So the children that it will have will be all the content that will be created from this content type. So like this is one of the use case. Now let's say if we want to fetch using the GraphQL. So GraphQL is recommended approach because it if you want to retrieve only the fields that are needed, for a specific requirement, it gives us very clean and predictable payload. Only thing to note is that we need to pass the SQL token in the URL in the header, and we can fetch we can write the query and we can fetch the data accordingly. So this is the query for getting all the data. Yeah. So here one thing you will note right now, like we have created a language version in the English and in the Spanish. So in the right side you could see in the fetch result there is translated content and there is this English version content as well. And in the image asset you will see that it has exposed some public URL. So we will discuss this later what it is. Now let's discuss how AI help us, in content operation and in the DAM content overall. So Sitecore AI provides two level of assistance. One is at the field level. It provides us some summaries or improvement just like the other any AI model. And the another way is when we create our localized content, right? So there's this toggle translate with AI. So it already translate our content with the language selected there. So it obviously we need to review it later on just to check any um you know errors in the translation or not. It required the review for sure, but for the quick content generation, it could be helpful or else. Now the DAM thing, how DAM, asset linking works there. I'll show you through the screenshot to better understand this. So let's say there was this last field, right? Image asset. So here, once you click, because this is a rich text field, you click there, you will see this option, the icon, the image icon. When you click on this icon, it show you this pop-up, to insert your assets. So what you see right now, it's part of some page configuration that is done for this search component, which is fetching your all the results from within the DAM. So for now in the page configuration, we have the approved assets from the content repository and from the standard repository. So let's say I'm going to select this image, right? So let's say I click on the select. A pop-up will ask for the renditions because it exposes the renditions URL. And in the preview, you obviously see the image, but on in the endpoint, in the REST and in the GraphQL, it shows you the rendition that you have chosen on this selection, and it exposes its public URL there. So for now, since this has the original rendition, I am going to select this one. See, in the preview, you see the image, but when you will fetch the data of this content, you will see it will expose the original public URL there. Now, what we have learned based on our POC and the hands-on work that we have done, these are few of the best practices. One is doing the content modeling, right? Keeping your content type very simple, because if you see that generic site block could be reusable at many places. And one more thing, in the rich text content, this field, there is no limitation of adding your assets into that field, right? So you could add multiple assets if you want to add there. It just to provide a clean and very clean structure there. So yeah, so in content modeling, we need to define our content type very simple, that could be reusable, right, for the future use. And we have to define taxonomy and tags. So tags was one of the things that could be usable in the same way we saw for the relation content type to content, right? So when in the right side in the details, when we add the tags, so tags is also similarly we can add the language. There is this m dot tag taxonomy. where you can add your own tag, and on the content in the right details you can select your tags, so you can easily apply them. And there is this relation tag to content through which you can fetch all the content that is utilizing that tag that you have created, right? The second thing is the DAM usage. We have seen how it's seamless to, select the assets within the DAM. It's just a configuration setup that you have to do as per the requirement or the business needs. We can link, and if we want to directly upload any assets, there is this option also available on the content. This is all out of the box features. And the localization, we have seen how to set up a language before creating any variants, and the use of AI translation as an assist. So always it requires a review, as I said that for the URL it will not translate, right? And in the migration and validation, we have to just see the content, before mapping it into the CMP, and validate all the fields and assets and the language variants, after we import. And the delivery layer, obviously we have to expose the content to the downstream application, let's say to the front end app. We prefer GraphQL for the structured, right, for the data that is required, and for the other performance reasons. Yeah, so that's all from our side. We are open for any questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Divya and Santosh, for insightful session. It was very useful. Let's see if we have any questions from anyone.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, one query from my end. So is there any kind of like idea like shared or fields like we have in Sitecore in CMP like that, and shared fields like that?
Which fields?
Like any fields that will be shared or version fields. Do we have that idea in CMP also?
Can you post your question in the chat?
Yeah,
I'm not able.
actually, okay. So Sank is asking about the shared and unversion field, right? What we
Yes,
have
yes,
in.
Oh,
correct, correct.
okay. Okay, I got it. So the concept is different from the CMS. We create the templates, right? In templates, we have that option to create the shared and the version. So here, once you create your content type, this content type is a base. And on the base, you create the variants where you have to define the language, right? I shown the locale, which is important. And on the basis of that, you can create any version. So the creation approach is different in from that point of view.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Let's see if we have any other questions.
I don't see anything in the chat.
Sure. If still someone has any questions, they can, connect Divya and Santosh over LinkedIn. They have already shared the details. And thanks for joining the session.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank
Divya.
you, everyone.
Have a great
Good
Thank you,
to see you.
Divya.
weekend.
Have a
Cheers.
great day.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.